Yes, greetings in the name of His and Her Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, Empress Wazira Menin. Yes, family, one perfect balance. Kidamawi, Kidamawi. Oh man. All right, so we off to a little bit of a later start, but we here nevertheless, as always, committed to at least jumping on board, coming on live in this matrix to reason with the people. Oh, tonight gonna be some fire. I gonna tell you shit. I mean, relationship goals. What do you mean by relationship goals, Emmanuel's? But I've been seeing so many videos right now, local and international, one, two regional, some even in Africa, um, regarding relationships, people having issues in their families, and it's like there's no where's the love? Like where did the love go? Where did the empathy go? I see men beating the crap out of women. I see women beating the crap out of men. I see youths going at it, families going at it, and it's like, yo, like am I the only one realizing this, or this was always the case? But it's now that what's really going on? Relationship goals, family. We gonna touch some real sensitive stuff tonight. We can talk about even polygamy. We're going to talk about the so-called outside woman, the so-called outside woman. We're going to touch on some stuff tonight, man. We going to touch on some stuff. We're going to talk on abuse, this thing called domestic abuse, and what's really going on with that. Where is this thing going? And you know, I anyhow, let me just put this out right real quick. Go tell a friend, tell a friend. Invite your people. They gonna want to hear this tonight. I'm telling you, we gonna touch on some sensitive topics. You got people married and having outside relationships. And the sister was telling me earlier, this COVID lockdown, people inside the house, have spurred and created so much abuse that's going on. Right now, a lot of abuse is happening in the homes between husbands and wives. I mean, fathers and children. I mean, there's mothers and sons. There's all kind of crazy stuff going on, and it's like mum's the word. Nobody ain't talking about it, man. Like there's no more love at all in the house, man. Like there's no more love in the house. Where did the love go, family? Where did the love go? Tell a friend, man. Politically incorrect tonight. Relationship goals, man.
No, no, no.
Woo.
You don't love me, and I know now.
You say you love me. You say you love me.
No, no, no.
You got specific orders.
You don't love me, yes, I know now. 'Cause you left me.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
And I
got no place to go now. I ain't got no place to go. I had a whole story prepared for tonight on Ghana, actually. I had to put it off to next week, man. Regarding some vaccines they got donated from the COVAX European Union. The funny thing is, all these European nations that donated these vaccines, mainly AstraZeneca, are countries that don't even want to use it because of blood clotting, but they send them to Ghana. They got the paper trail, family. I don't know, man. Where did the love go, Dom Pen? Dom Pen, where did the love go?
Cause if you ask me.
Okay. On my knees, and I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That was a glitch just now in the Matrix. Looks like we having a glitch or two. Anyhow, family. Tell a friend and tell a friend, family. Tell a friend to tell a friend, family. Relationship goals. That's how relationship goes. I have some great news to announce. Well, I suppose I could say great news to announce. It is good news. Great news. Great news. I can't believe what I'm seeing, man. We just buried a young lady recently that was stabbed in the city. You know, two young ladies got, caught out there. And I mean, you've seen videos of young people getting involved in altercations, a lot of stabbings, I suppose. People right now frustrated. People right now are angry. Man, welcome to the Republic of Barbados. Welcome to the Republic of Barbados. This is what we have to expect. I want to first say congratulations to everybody who have supported this platform from the inception when it was on my personal page, and we was building it with the old cell phone, two clothespins and the ironing board, and then we decided to branch over into actual page separated, and we started from zero. There are now well over 600 people who subscribe to it on Facebook, and YouTube is growing. I wanted to say thanks to everybody who has been committed to this. And believe it or not, there are people who come on afterwards that view and tell their friend and tell a friend, and it has grown continually and continues to grow. So I want to give a big round of applause, a big salute, Ashe. As a matter of fact, before I go any further, I want to say Shalom Shabbat to my Sabbath keepers who do come on board and have their fellowship with us. I want to say Ashe to the conscious community, Hotep, Assalamu alaikum to my Islamic family, peace to the Moors, Islam, and as always, Rastafari, my brethren and the sister in them, big up all the Moabites in the building as well. Definitely give thanks. We give thanks. Oh man, where is the love? Relationship goals. My sister had a term we used way back. We had coined this. I believe we coined this. It was called agitated denial. And what she expressed was that she noticed a lot of people in this current day and age and the new norm just continually exhibit what is considered aggressive behavior, violent behavior, and dealing with simple matters. And people started to become seemingly, more agitated easily agitated, and therefore become more violent in how they display their emotions. There wasn't any communication anymore. There was a lot of lashing out. And big up to Ken, by the way, and K Shepherd. And I got your badge, brother. You earned that one. You definitely earned that one. But agitated denial, a lot of people right now, crime right now, you're seeing a lot of videos of crime being taken place, robberies and stuff. The funny thing is this, though. And I don't mean funny from the standpoint of being cynical, but it's like, I wonder how many people are paying attention to see what's really going on in Barbados. I wonder how many people are really, really paying attention to see what's going on in Barbados. I am not sure yet how it's working, how it's not working, but so much things are happening all across the board. Are we paying attention? So we want to open up tonight and just get the feed forward from the people, touching some touchy subjects. But before we get into that, as promised, we have a debut by our resident poet, spoken word artiste. The sisterin is known to a lot of people in Barbados, even around the region and perhaps internationally by now, I'm certain, for her floetry, her flow that just flows. I don't even know how to put it in words. I mean, it's humbling. And it wasn't by design, but she happens to be with us tonight. We have Trisha Joseph in the building, believe it or not, while we're talking about relationship and relationship goals. We can ask her a few questions. What do y'all think? And see if she, willing to drop some knowledge, from the female perspective, especially as a person, an individual who use words and poetry to speak and express certain feelings and emotions. So I don't think I should even wait any longer. I should automatically just bring Trisha in. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Blessings. Thanks for being a part of Politically Incorrect. I don't know how to introduce you. I mean, there's so many things that can be said from the standpoint of positive energy, positive flow, poetry in motion, like the ripples across the sea, what we call the ocean. I'm just trying to have my own little fun here. But nevertheless, go ahead and introduce yourself to us and let the world know. First time on Politically Incorrect. The one, the
Yes,
only, the
it's a blessing and an absolute honor to be here this evening. My name is Trisha Joseph. My stage name is Empress Trisha. I'm a spoken word artist. I've been writing on this frequency of poetry from the 1st of October 2015 until now. And my journey has and has still, it is and still has been an absolute journey of upliftment, teachings, awakenings. It's just a journey of blessings, and I humbly give thanks for it. The level that, or the frequency, I should say, that I am at now is even shocking to me at times, because many times when I have like spare time or me time, as I call it, I would review what I have written from 2015 and 2016, and it amazes me. Now, on my Facebook page, for those of you who are following me there, normally every Sunday I would post a poem. Now, I'm following a certain pattern with this new page, I should say. With this new page, I've started a pattern that if you pay close attention, you would absorb the frequency that I projecting from this order of poetry that I'm posting now. I've taken a break for a few weeks to focus more on me, zone in on me, and in the quest of doing that has awakened me on a different level. So my energy has shifted. It has shifted in a more awakening direction or path, as I say. Now, today's Friday. That was on, I think it was from Mondays or Wednesdays, Politically Incorrect. When I was watching, I always, well, you were highlighting it for a while, Emmanuel, to write a poem on the Yak family and my experience from being at those meetings on Fridays that I so deeply missed. I really missed those meetings, but
Yeah, everybody keeps saying that. Everybody tells us that same thing. By the way, big up to the mama today on his herb strong. By the way, definitely shout out to the app.
oh, it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
gotta shout my brother. He's a really that, that elder is a powerful individual. So I definitely gonna go to town tomorrow, show him. But from attending those BIAT meetings has empowered me to be the warrior that I am today. I will say that proudly, because before even starting those BIAT meetings, I was not as strong-minded as I am now. So I give thanks to the BIAT family on the
Definitely,
highest level.
definitely,
Enough
definitely.
love to the sisters and brethren from the BIAT family as well. I've grown to develop a really unique family unit from that journey from the BIAT family. In essence to all of that, I'm also working on a book. But I just don't want an ordinary book that you just take up and read. I am working on an audio book, so putting in some studio work. I have to put in some studio work.
Wow.
So pretty soon I'll have the audio book up and running. So I am a bit of a perfectionist, so
You've
if I
been
do a voiceover and it's not to my, I'm not feeling it because it's all energy. If I'm not feeling it and I'm not satisfied with it, I'm gonna do it over. So once things are from my likings and that level of satisfaction, then I would officially put it out there. But I'm working on my audiobook as well.
wonderful,
Pretty
wonderful,
soon.
wonderful. Sound like you've been doing, sound like you've been busy putting in some work. As per usual, tell us about this poem that you apparently penned and won regarding tonight. Now, this is the debut because I've not even heard it yet. I have no idea what this is going to sound like. I'm hearing this thing for the first time. There's a little background into,
You
you
are,
know, how did this come together
everyone
with,
is.
yeah. There's some
So
feed forward.
the energy, sorry?
Yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead. Give us some energy on it. Your thoughts. How do you put it
Yeah,
together?
the energy from this poem was actually from the last meeting, the last live, I should say. So it's entitled Liberation.
Mm-hmm. Liberation. So you ready to drop this science debut here on Politically Incorrect for the first time?
This
You ready to drop this?
this just a little smidget of liberation. The thing is, I wrote the poem and then wrote the title for it after the completion
Liberation.
of
You
the
said
poem.
it's a smidget.
You ready?
Yeah, I've been waiting on you.
Liberation. You have the freedom of choice, the freedom to evolve, to emerge from your cocoon, redefine your wealth, unshackle those mental chains, restore your divine connection. The Biab family for many years have encouraged me to break down walls of entrapment. They've given me third eye knowledge on levels that have awakened my next dimension. This is a time not to give in to the trap, an entrapment to follow the weak. We are the original people, queens and kings, authentic and pure, organic for sure. The planet, the planets are in perfect alignment. The rain is washing away the toxic energy, purifying the motherland. A breath of fresh air, melanin is mighty. Embrace it to the fullest. Now, our live Jah Army, Universal Army of Warriors, we are one. The woman, the warriors, the queens, the kings, we are royalty, mighty so. So this is just a smidget of that energy from the life.
Wow.
That's a sprinkle.
We are one.
Yeah,
We are one. We are
we
one.
are one,
I like that. I
mighty
like.
so.
I think that because I always, encourage people to be at one, and so that oneness is what's most profound. And I think in this day and age, that is truly where we need to be. Relationship goals, being at one. I think that's one of the primary reasons you find the breakdown is happening the way it's happening, because there's this disconnect. There's not that oneness like it used to be. There's a
Exactly.
disconnect. And why is there disconnect? People not knowing themselves right now. People are being fed nothing but fear. Matter of fact, about 2 years now, we've not been fed nothing but fear, over and over and over and over and over and over. 2020, 2021, going into 2022, it has been nothing but fear, and fear does a lot of things to the human being, and it puts you in a certain state of mind. It really sets you back in a very negative way. You may not even realize that that's what's
It does.
happening. It's very subliminal. But being at one, I like that. I like that. I like that. That
Thank you.
that kind of captures where we at. And it's so fitting for the night. Now again, I had a different program planned in terms of information I'd research and gather to reveal, which is really disturbing. Really, maybe I'll share part of that later on. But I also saw so much disturbing things this week as it pertains to relationship. The brother, the video that circulated with the brother overseas, and I saw another one, something similar. Then there was a trial with this young man who had allegedly. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. and you start to realize that people are losing touch with,
with self.
yeah, for lack of a better term, definitely losing touch with themselves. And you've chosen to use your spoken word as an avenue to, you know, how should I say, touch people and empower people using your words, encouragement. And I think that's important now. Most people right now are giving up. People feel hopeless, and therefore, that little sense of like, man. But let me ask you a question. What are your thoughts on relationships, past, present, and future, especially in this so-called new norm where there's all these restrictions and stuff, and you meet someone and how you might interact, not interact. One of they have their vax and they don't have a vax because you may not have a vax, so you may have a vax, and you want to talk to somebody. You don't want to have a relationship with someone who's not vax. How does COVID and the COVID protocols impact or has impacted your relationship? I mean, assuming you
In
have
this,
a.
in the present moment. Well, let me just say this first, because a couple months, well, not a couple, because a couple is two. A few months ago, probably early in the year, I was on a live with for those of you who don't know, before COVID madness, I call it the COVID madness, I used to showcase open mic segments. And the purpose for the open mic segments was not only to create the platform for me personally, but for other artists to have that platform to showcase their talent, whatever it may be.
Mhm,
So I was on a live early this year with Ruby Tech and some other artists.
mhm,
And Tech asked me, technically he asked me if men are intimidated by me because of my energy is so dynamic, is so powerful.
mhm,
Normally, I will say the average person or the opposite sex don't know how to communicate with me on my frequency. They find me as dominant or controlling because I'm so, I have a strong hold of energy. So I have a no tolerance for certain things. So in these times now, from my journey, from my past relationships,
mhm,
but the last one I was in was probably 2 years ago. And from that experience, seeing that it ended badly, the path that I am on now living by myself and being the sole breadwinner of my household, I have structured my life completely different. So
mhm,
I am not on a, before in my younger years, before I was kind of like on a quest seeking that individual to pair that matches or similar to my energy. But now
mhm,
in these times, I am more like, it's me time. So I focus more on me. So I nurture me. I take my
wow,
beach days. I work out. I focus on me.
wow,
So in essence of that, I'm not seeking my king because I know he's out there. What I'm doing is
you're,
just
pre- you're preparing yourself.
I, nurturing me. So when
Mhm,
I do that, then even something as simple as me posting a pic or a story or whatever, I
mhm,
always get energy back. I don't respond to all because then, it can't feed into every energy that projects to me. So sometimes I will ignore, not being rude, but sometimes I need to ignore
wow,
because,
I can
that's
imagine.
it.
I can only imagine.
It's
You would probably
that's like
imagine.
every single day. Even
Wow.
even if I'm working, I deal with this every single day. So
Wow.
I actually I like to tell people I am not in a quote unquote relationship. I'm just loving me, self love.
Self love. Okay. Okay. Self love. Well, you know what? Having said that, let me kind of deep dive here into a different part of this ocean, and not by chance
Diverse.
you happen to be here. this wasn't the plan, but since you're here, I guess the universe had decided to be this way. And you speak about oneness in your spoken word. You know, as a woman in 2021, going into self love, focusing more on building yourself, making sure that you're where you need to be, mentally, as you said, work out physically as well, and not to say seeking for that other one, but dealing with you, making sure that you are balanced enough where if somebody do come along, it's more complimentary than a controlling situation or someone trying to
Exactly.
one dominate the other kind of thing going on and having internal issues about
Need the
who.
balance.
Be the balance. Yeah, I like that. Be the balance. What's your views right now in terms of, I don't know, sure, in your community or people that you might know, friends or whatever. What's your understanding? What's your view on relationships and where they're at right now? Do you see
Yeah,
relationships working? Do you see them under pressure? What are your views on relationships?
my views on relationships. Well, it depends on your definition of what a relationship is.
Mm-hmm.
Because traditionally, a relationship, people view a relationship as, how to put it, as just a male and a female. One soul, two people come together as one. That's the traditional view of a relationship. No, I reasoned with a brethren recently, and he's, because we talk pretty often, and he said to me, I will give my views from a female perspective. He will give his views from a masculine and feminine energy of perspective or views. And he said to me, majority of the time, well, he's speaking from a male point of view. Most men are not 100% satisfied with having one partner. So although somebody would be in a relationship or married or whatever you want to say, they would still or might still, I on a life, they might still, that's my son, they might still, they, they might still, don't do it, sorry, that, no, to me off, they might still be tempted to step out of, whether it's the man or the woman, it does happen. So my view on relationships in 2021
Mm-hmm.
is, I am, it's so complicated for some, depending on the mindset of the individual.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not even gravitated or feeling that urge to be in one because, for one, it's so hard to genuinely trust individuals. If you wanna say per se, just drawing reference, A and B
Mm-hmm.
decided, you know, you know each other, your friends or whatever, you decided to take things to the next level. Now, as friends, things would work out as friends, but then you decide to take it to the next level and it's not, it might start, well, it would start off because everything normally starts off good. So it starts off good and all rosy and all dandy and all nice. And then as time progresses, and reality settles in, and your true, authentic, original self, you're comfortable in your surroundings, so you're being yourself. Then you're like, I don't like that about he, I don't really like that about she, but you're saying it to yourself. You're not saying it to the individual. So you creating tension unknowingly. So if you can be open with the next individual or individuals or whatever your um, mindset of a relationship is, you're going to start conflict. Now, for me personally, I get this like, probably every day. I always say probably every day.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I work, the place that I work is an open place. There's always new faces, and you know me, always nice and bubbly and well spoken. So I'm new to the work, so a different energy is gravitating new people. So
Wow. Wow.
why a beautiful woman like you not in a relationship? You look so sweet. You should got do. And I be like, at the end of the day, if you can't start with self, you know what people would man want to give this for your birthday, my Christmas coming up, for that day, and blah blah and rare. By the end of the day, I just be like, what's the alternative motive? Because 99.9% of the time people will want to do, but they're looking for something in return. So I always
Interesting.
lay my cards on the table from the jump. Tell me what it is. Don't play with me because you don't want me to transform. They can be really nice and sweet, but
You
no
could
tolerance
transform.
on the
You
next
could
side.
transform.
Transformation mode.
Transform.
I have a poem called transformation mode too. I don't
Okay. You transform.
I don't play. I don't play when it comes to you not knowing how to respect me. You not accepting me for who I am. For you try if you starting a new, don't carry or baggage from wherever into this new or comparing this to that or that to this and then saying but if this and if that you're starting wrong so you can't end right. It's that simple.
Okay, I think one of the most important things you said, and I said one of the most important things, but you said a mouthful of important things. And but the one thing I definitely heard was lack of communication. When
Mm-hmm.
when there's no communication, people holding stuff inside. I was telling someone earlier that you'll find that when people have this thing called relationship, and the term alone, relationship, there must be some relation going on. And the fact that it's a vessel, and I don't even get into the breakdown the words and stuff because I may more or less look for connections in terms of relationships, or at least have connections and building relationships. It's almost like wiring something. You can't have electricity flow if you don't wire it. You know, you can have
Exactly.
wires, you can have components, but if they're not wired correctly, you can either short circuit, fuse,
Yeah.
or you can flow and it can work efficiently. But
Mm-hmm.
communication is like the right wiring. It allows things to flow naturally. It allows you to say what's really on your mind and have that response or have some kind of feed forward that would bring clarity. One of the primary reasons why relationships fail in 20, well, now in this day and age, not like it never did before, and I'm sure it was the same thing all along. Communication, but men
Mm-hmm.
don't communicate the same way women communicate. There's some communication barriers that a lot of us bring into relationships that we might be struggling with in our personal life that we may have had in another relationship that we never even heal or recognize where we were at fault because no one did a
Mm-hmm.
postmortem of that when you broke up with someone and well you know you met somebody else, you just kind of pick up and go. Some people don't want to be alone, so no one really checks and like you said, do that little self
Exactly.
love, time for self, check and see, well, what did I contribute to the relationship that it caused it not to work? Do I need to change something? Do I need to look at myself? It's okay to blame somebody and say, well, he demanded this or demanded that, or in some cases, very few, however, the woman did this or the woman did that, and miss the fact that there's a communication issue with yourself. You're not being honest with yourself. So
Oh,
not being able to deal with self on that level, then you go back into another relationship, like you said, and you bring baggage from the one from before into the new one now. Now you have a situation where you perpetuating this cycle, you perpetuating this thing, and it's going and it's going and it's going and it's going, and it's just merging from one to the next, the next, the next. But the reality is there's some things that you yourself may have to work on. So I think when you said about taking that time for self and define, and by the way, let me commend you on defining relationship in terms of heterosexual to some degree. And then this is not to say nothing good or bad about anybody else who has a different
mm-hmm.
experience, because
So
the
that's
world
natural.
where men have a relationship with men, women have a relationship with women,
Mhm.
have a relationship with children, adults have relationships with dogs, well, animals, adults have a relationship with mannequins and animate objects. One guy who married a mannequin, he married,
Crazy.
he married his blow up doll. Well, she's not a blow up doll in the
Yeah,
sense of a blow up
I saw that. The sex
evolved
doll.
beyond robotic, but she's almost light.
Crazy.
This man he's in a relationship with an animate doll that he loves. Who am I to say? My thing is that I'm speaking about the traditional life bearing manifesting relationships, man, woman. And the idea in 2021 right now, that seems to be breaking down though. Although it is building up on one level, you see, like, and the Bible talks about a time is going to come where families are going to be broken apart. Father against children, mother against children, husbands against wives, brothers against sisters, sisters against brothers. It talked about the breaking down of the family unit. I mean, and the family unit is one of the most important units for the survival of man. Where do you, as a woman, as a single parent, one who's going through self-love, let me ask this question differently. Where do you see relationships in terms of coming together, staying together, building together? Where do you see that going? Because you mentioned something about men, well, relationships. One of your associates said that the men like to step out of the relationship or have someone on his side, what they call the side chick, which I don't even like those terms or words. But this idea of having an outside relationship, whether you're
Mhm.
married or you're not married, where do you see relationships going forward, in your opinion, as especially when it relates to what you said your friend having, or even for females also? Because a woman actually told me today that sometimes a woman would be at home and she'll start a fight with her man. She'll start a fight with the husband deliberately to justify leaving the house just to go and see some other guy. And I'm thinking, well, damn, that's a clever
Oh,
pick a fight. You always leave me
oh,
ground. That time she didn't threw the sock on the ground herself. This guy like lost a whole big fight for the night. Just I leave him here.
just
Just
excuse to leave and go and do dirt.
what's your view in terms of relationship and where's going in terms of
Um,
um, variables?
for me personally, I to be honest with you, I so enjoying just doing me that I have a glow on me that is amazing. When I look when I look into the mirror, I'm so happy with me and contented with me.
Wow.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
still I
love it.
know in my core that there is uh uh a king who will balance off my queendom or my queen zone, or because I refuse to lower my standards or lower
Mm.
my frequency to match one a level that I already passed. You get me? So it's really hard to find that or see it in other individuals, or in other times I might see it. I do see it in other individuals, but the is a bit complicated because it's different from the quote unquote norm, what people expect from you. So this is a real tricky one
I know. I
because
know. But and I'll tell you what. Like I said, it wasn't it wasn't supposed to have you, but you happen to be here with the spoken word. So I figured as a female, I'd answer a couple of questions.
no, I have no problem with the questions, because the thing is, these are questions that individuals actually, I know in my core, want to ask me but don't know how to.
Okay.
So for those of you who might be on the live right now, oh
But like I
my
tell you,
God,
right, this wasn't the plan. This wasn't the program scheduled for tonight. But because I had seen so much stuff this week, I got in so many videos, so many messages. Even today, again, in a few chats, I seen a few more. And the last one Saturday was, I think, I saw a guy and two females fighting, and then one lady got hurt again. And my thing is, it is so simple and so easy that these so-called fights that a lot of people stand by and watch with their cell phone
ah,
can become different. Now you have to know to assess the energy of the situation because in some instances, you know, getting involved on one level may exacerbate the situation versus letting it diffuse. Because sometimes the audience, believe it or not, right? And this has been proven. You find that when people are interacting like that, when people are fighting, whatever, the audience is usually the motivating factor. You find more often than not, if there was no crowd, there's no conflict.
mm,
Sometimes people's ego is on the line, and sometimes they ego trip. So not that they want to be that way, but the ego trip. So it's like, well, all the people watching, nobody can punk
yes,
me
they have to. No,
that, and they put themselves and other people in harm's way because of like you know the lower self. And this is why this is conversation is going to take a different turn in a minute and
mm,
go in a whole different realm because we fail to recognize, I think you said it, not knowing self, not knowing who you are is one of the fundamental reasons where we find ourselves in these situations. Because when you start to connect with you, when you start going to you, when you start to heal you and build you, you come to realize a lot of the things and a lot of the places, a lot of people, and a lot of situations, a lot of things you accepted and find yourselves in before. You no longer do that because you start to see
yeah,
yourself with a different level of value. I had one sister that told me that, I mean, she's involved with a guy once that would even follow her to work and kind of stalk her at work to see and make sure she don't talk to nobody else. I'm thinking, well, what do you mean? What do you mean follow you to work and you can't? You're not even supposed to speak to nobody else. You can't
yeah.
even have a candid conversation. You
I
know,
was
so
in a relationship like that before, so I know
wow,
how that feels. It's
wow,
crazy.
wow.
It is
But again,
crazy.
that issue
Hmm.
not that's not your issue. That's the individual who has some serious unresolved insecurity,
Yes,
maybe
yes.
abandonment issues. You know, maybe I mean, there's so many things we as people we are so
I will say this, not cutting you, I will say this, right? I was in a relationship before for almost shy of 5 years. I think it was about 2 more years would have make it 5 years.
mhm,
Now, while I was in that relationship, I was always faithful. I never stepped out. I never did nothing I was not supposed to be doing. I
mhm,
would, at a point, the individual was not working anymore. So I was still working. So I would do what I can to help maintain him. I would do that. I'm that type of individual. What
mhm,
he, what his habit was, or one of his habits were, accusing me of doing things that I'm not doing. Like I feel like if you're doing this, and I feel like if you're doing that, and I always say to him, why should I? And then one time I got really annoyed with it, and I said to him, you know what? When the time come that I do, you would know because I would never come back on you. And so said, so done.
But
And
is it a
when
danger in that? Let me answer this question carefully before you. I mean, to have someone that in your life who is questioning you and accusing you and all this kind of stuff, is there a danger in that? You know, as someone so convinced within themselves
he,
doing something that you're not doing that they start to behave in an aggressive or violent way.
but he wasn't aggressive or violent, but he got obsessive. Like every weekend, almost every weekend, I would spend by him. So if so, say per se this weekend now and I am by him, just drawing reference, I by him. I was so well, next week I going with my best friend. No, I know my best friend long before him. So you come and find me with my best friend who is a female. It's not like my best friend is a male. You met my best friend. I introduced you to the person. So I buy him and I said, well, next week can I go in with my best friend? That used to be an issue for me to go online with my best friend and come back. So I remember I was by him one weekend and I said, noise, he kept doing the same crap. And I was like, you know what? You know me, I always have my bicycle. I gonna hop on my bicycle and I gone. and I ride him with my best friend. I have my best friend now and I telling her the craziness that I just dealt with. She said, you know what, Trish? Cool your head. Let me go across to the gas station by saying the sip on when you come back and keep a vibe. So I left the bicycle on her step, on her stoop. All right, cool. We walking to the gas station, which is like 5 minutes away. We on the opposite side of the road. Mind you, she on it because her structures, she's taller than I am. Her structure is bigger than me. She's on the outside. I'm on the inside. We on one side of the road. On the next side of the road is the same man. Pace. I was walking. One by my best friend. She like, wait, Trish, that's so and so, that. Well, wrong, like up to now he and see the two of us on the other side of the road, because he just focused on getting there. So what is
Right.
this? We on the gas station, buy the drinks, come back now. When they come back, he pop up on the bicycle. I like, what you doing here? Man, I had to make sure that you did it. I'm like, and I started to get real steamy. No, it got a little height. This guy was shorter than me. He was standing up at the bottom of the steps. I was standing up on the step because I passed to the gangway and they went and sit in the gallery. He got me so steamy that my best friend pick up on my body language because what is it? I went to give you a kick across the head, right?
Oh man.
And my best friend pulled me back in the same time frame that I was gonna give you this kick across the head.
I
And she
see
said, you know what? This is not
But
end
not
well.
becoming the one that's violent and aggressive. Although his insecurity is promoting him to be a certain way, it has caused you now to become the aggressor in the relationship. Like somebody has a question here for
Yep.
you, Isis. Where was it? Gray Soup. I'm asking a question for you. I suppose you could see that. On what month and date? What's your entry date? What month and date is you?
Oh, I'm a Virgo, September 21st. Yeah.
21st. You're a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
September
I'm a
21st.
Virgo.
Isis said 21st. I don't know if she's responding to having knowledge of that or if she's
What's that?
making that prophetic. Isis says September 21st. Yeah, she said September 21st. I don't know if she's being psychic with her psychic gifts or she's aware.
That's my good sister Isis. She is good energy.
For sure.
Good
For
energy.
sure. Shout out to Isis as usual.
I never met her. The thing is, I never met her. I never met her face to face, right? I don't think so, but I don't like to use the word, but yet still her energy is like so.
Yeah, Isis is the real deal, man.
She's the real deal.
This is the thing. That's what I'm saying.
She's in a carbon copy in her feet.
When it comes to relationships, you have to know you. You have to know your value and know your worth. And I think we see stuff going on with COVID and vaccine and this and that, and people going along. And I mean, it seems that weird conspiracy theories, the anti-vax, whatever you want to call it. The point is, there's clearly a different set of individuals coexisting here at this point, and maybe even three different types. The point I want to make, though, there are some individuals who have no idea of themselves in such a conscious way that they're going along hook, line, and sinker. But even in their personal life, you look at the relationships and how things reflect, and you start to wonder. And this isn't to cast judgment, but this is to bring to awareness. We've been busy consuming last 2 years with so much distraction. COVID, corona vaccine, COVID, corona vaccine, COVID, corona vaccine. I mean, just a loop. It's really a loop that we are losing on different grounds, on different
Yeah.
levels, not realizing that something nefarious is going on. And if we don't stop to pay attention to it, I fear that we wake up one morning and realize that we're living in a different reality, totally different reality. But the rain just started coming down, pouring. And and the thing is that to see these videos now and hear these different views and realize that people are really going through depression and anxiety and a lot of different financial issues and stress. Yeah, that almost made me look around, man. Like, yo, whoa, what that?
It's where I
That's
live. It's so close to the main road, right?
I
So,
was going to say that. I was going to say that was so real. It was like I had to look up my door because some folks keep telling me they think that they're going to barge in on me one of these nights. It's like,
and
really?
then like right, the main road is
All
like right there behind my
the,
window. So,
no,
right
but no.
there.
My thing though is that we have to heal as the people. We have to fix this. Our children are watching us. The children, the youth. You see the youth. You know, there's so much good going on that we hardly ever see. There's so much good going on that we hardly get a
Yep.
chance, right? And be constantly being bombarded with fear, fear, fear.
Fear
You know,
tactic. Fear. That's
and
all it is. It's a fear tactic. I will say this, right? Not crossing you. From 2020 when this officially surfaced on the soil, on Barbados soil, I never felt the urge to follow fashion. Meaning, like, oh, I'm gonna get my thing, you're gonna get your thing too. Oh, you don't get this, you don't get that. And I like, hold on. Why? Y'all did research on these things. Y'all follow up on these things. So when I draw cert, it was even saying this till a member a few months ago when I passed through town. And I was viewing, because I like to do research on everything, as much things as I possibly can, and get the knowledge that I need. I don't go by what you say or what she say. I go in by the knowledge that I give myself. Now, what you say or what she say might be accurate, but still I want to know for myself. That's just me. So I was watching this it was a conference. So it's a big stage, projectors with different things on the screen highlighting stuff that happening today. Now, the film was dated about 5 or 6 years back. Now, on the screen, everyone who's knowledgeable enough will know every virus has a distinctive look. All of them look different. Correct me if I'm wrong. To my knowledge, each one, everyone looks differently. It looks different. So on the screen was people look at me funny when I say this, but on the screen was the virus that I saw highlighted in these times.
Mhm.
And the person did not call it by that name, but every detail behind that image is what's happening now. They will be muzzled, was in his phrase, one of his phrases. Everybody mask up today. They will be separated. Everybody, not everybody, but everybody queued up 6 to 3 feet apart. And now is so vividly clear that they're separating the vaccinated from the unvaccinated. So they're trying to say now who decide to get vaccinated have more rights and privileges than those who are unvaccinated. So you're separating people, you're separating families, you're separating homes. For me personally, I know of a family, a husband and a wife, one vaccinated and one is unvaccinated. And at this present moment, they're going through a divorce because one vaccinated, one unvaccinated. So this them butting heads every day. What you doing? Gonna do this, and the other one standing firm. They ain't doing it. So you're doing it. Well, go along.
Well, but you see how that again? It goes back to relationship goals. You know, there's so much things going on that are fallouts, I should say, from COVID situation, and there's so many things happening that are advantageous to COVID happenings. The question is, where do you stand? Imagine you married someone, you're married for, let's say, 10, 15, 20 years, and in some cases, even longer, regardless of what you've been through. And all of a sudden, because one partner is saying, I am fully vaxxed, whatever that is defined as now, and the other one is like, well, I don't want nothing to do with that. Like today, I met a lady today. She is 81 years old. 81, she walks with a cane, slow as ever, but she drives, which is funny. I couldn't believe it. She drives. She said, I never had an accident in my life. And I saw you asking the question, you know, she was telling me all the madness going on, and you know, the government and our prime servant, and this is an 81-year-old elder, you know, wise woman, you could tell, dropping the science clearly about her affairs, lived abroad. She's here, and she's telling me, so mom, so you got to make sure you got your shots and stuff, because it said, so me, nah, you can't take nothing to do with that. I don't. Which I thought was interesting again, because here is a mature woman, an elder, a part of the system, who worked the system her entire life. Gave her 81 years. She should be 82. She said in a few weeks or a few months. She said to me, 82, and I was impressed because to see her with all her strength and vigor, and not afraid. The key was that she was not afraid, though. She was not afraid at all, and she was so strong and robust. And I'm thinking, you know, they're different people. But imagine you live your life and your relationships, and all this thing comes, all of a sudden it even break up your house, break up your home, your family, you know, relationship, your wife, children, all kind of stuff. And so where is it going? A lot of different things happening. But for those who know coming on board, this is Trisha Joseph, the young lady who had the spoken word for us. She had written a poem for Politically Incorrect. If you missed it earlier,
Liberation.
I'm gonna ask her before you go to, you know, give us some closing thoughts and drop that for us one more time for those who know coming on, get that spoken word poem in motion. She's been flowing her poetry around Barbados and internationally for a little time now. And if y'all don't know, check her Facebook page out. And you can give the details as well in terms of where to find your writings, your videos. I've seen a video actually, deep stuff. Yeah, tell us, and you know, closing thoughts, and give us that spoken word one time for those who now coming on board.
Okay, that Liberation is the title for this one. Before I don't know if I can share this with you quickly, but before I do Liberation, because you keep talking about flow and energy, I want to share with you one of my ultimate favorite ones. I don't know if you remember this one. This was from the very jump.
I could already hear it in my head, man. I could already hear it. Look, I could already hear it in my head, man.
Which was?
I ain't saying the word. I ain't saying the words.
Flow.
Speaking of flow,
I got a poem called This Flow. So you keep talking about flow, right? So I gotta let out the flow.
I knew it.
This is one of my ultimate favorite ones. It's actually number 2 from me writing on this frequency of poetry. So let me see if I can remember it straight off the bat. Yeah, back just in case. I should remember it because I love this song.
Let it flow.
So this one is entitled This Flow. So
let it flow. So let it flow.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it flow. This flow. This flow is majestic, flowing like a river. This flow is inspiring. It's spiritual food that we crave for, such we desire. This flow is incredible, way beyond measure. It's my absolute pleasure to express my flow. This flow is epic. It's like none other. It's just like Trisha, a flow that's ironic, making me feel like I'm on a mountain, making me feel like I'm flying high, flowing and flying higher than an eagle, soaring to new and wonderful heights, higher than the sky, striving for excellence, visionary excellence, success through flow, flow through success, everlasting courage, courage to acknowledge myself, to face any and all fears, expect the unexpected, deliver the flow, because you know when you do, it's not that scary. You realize it's not that hard to flow. Once you open that hidden door, once you reveal your hidden beauty, you'll impress even you. So flow, flow till your cup overflows. Then and only then you'll unleash that strength. Then and only then you'll feel your own personal flow. Now that's my flow. That's my flow.
Wow, wow. Yeah, I remember that. You let that flow though. That was powerful, man. That was powerful, man. I ain't gonna tell the family to drop the energy on it.
Thank you.
That was
Deliberation for you guys. The thing is with that poem stuff, a lot of people tell me like from when I first started even seeing expressing that poem, this flow,
yeah.
and how I do it now is a totally different energy, which is
I,
good.
I know for a fact because I remember. Oh man, I remember.
Yeah.
Shout out to Divine Stan, man, and the pint without question. You know how it go already. You know how it go already,
And I
man.
also performed that. Remember when you guys also got the session in
So
Club
now it's the
Marina?
Marina Armageddon. Shout out
Sellers,
to
yeah, too.
Armageddon.
Yes. So
Oh,
good
by the
energy
way,
all the
yes, I wanna, I
time.
wanna,
So
I wanna definitely shout out someone on here tonight that I see on here. I don't recall seeing on here before, at least not recent. But I definitely got to shout out Kobe Maloney and none other than Mags. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
The mom, matriarch, without question in the building. I feel honored and humbled to have her presence, her pre-essence with us. You know, definitely shout out to the family for sure. Long live Kobe. Full stop, no question. So big up to Mags in the building. You know, Obatala, Obatala, Obatala. You don't know. So that go without saying, but let it flow, let it flow. Give us liberation. Speaking of liberation, give us liberation.
liberation. Let me get a set. Yes, I'm on my life. You,
You gotta love them children, man. They see where they think they're sitting there talking to your phone. Like I'm just stressed. They're talking. I'm having a conversation with the phone. Yes, we on a live.
liberation. That's Jamali. Liberation. Liberation. You have the freedom of choice, the freedom to evolve, to emerge from your cocoon, redefine your wealth, unshackle those mental chains, restore your divine connection. The Biap family for many years have encouraged me to break down walls of entrapment. They have given me third eye knowledge on levels that have awakened my next dimension. This is a time not to give in to the trap. A trap, an entrapment not to. This is the time not to give in to the trap, an entrapment to follow the weak. We are the original people. queens and kings, authentic and pure, organic for sure. The planets are in perfect alignment. The rain is washing away the toxic energy, purifying the motherland. A breath of fresh air, melanin is mighty, embrace it to the fullest. Now our live Jah Army, Universal Army of Warriors, we are one. The woman, the warriors, the queens, the kings, we are royalties, mighty soul.
You like that mighty, so I like that. We are one. And that's that perfect balance, man and woman. You see, man and woman is that perfect balance, and there's no way around that. I think the sister said it at the vaccine showing up that families were unequally yoked. It's so funny because this thing is not just on one level, it's spiritual, it's physical, it's a conscious thing. And I do know couples who have been married for years, and the husband actually waited till the wife was out the island, and he went and got jabbed, and 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 then so when he came back, when she came forward, it was like, yo, I did that. And it's like, well, yo, you know, and there was all these years, and although she's still there, we do have
It's not the
conversations,
same energy.
and I hear her plight, I hear her concern, and I hear the difference in how things are being expressed, and it's like, yo, imagine your whole life then got disturbed, this thing deep. So looking into oneself is important in this day and age. I want to thank you for coming through for your time.
Give
You share
thanks.
your words. Sound as a young
Glad to
lady,
be
as
here.
wasn't meant to pull you into this conversation, but
It's
as you
all
were
good.
here, a question or two, and you got to go back to the comments. 'Cause I think there's some questions for you and some comments specifically to you, and you can address them accordingly. But thanks
Okay.
again for being here, and you know, be a one. Being at one.
We are.
I
We
thanks for
are.
the
Each one teach one.
Trisha Joseph family, the beloved.
Blessings.
Blessings, blessings. Yes, family. I mean, it's so interesting how we have this kind of talent going on in the background and amongst us, amongst conscious groups, amongst the community, and it's like, you know, how do we harness this energy? How do we teach our children how to be their authentic selves, how to get in tune with themselves? And the brother mentioned it earlier about teaching the children, man. And this sister right here, she has her youths, she helps them, she raised them. You can see it in the background. She's still balancing it. I want y'all just to give her nothing but positive kinetic energy, send nothing but energy her direction, and make sure that we support her continually in thought, word, and deed as best we can from a standpoint of nothing but pure love and pure positive energy, man. Family, Trisha Joseph, I remember how she first started her words and healing people through her words. And I mean, so is this a continual growth? And to hear her flow like that and the delivery is like, yeah, energy. We definitely got to teach that our children. Let our children see this kind of energy. Let children see love in the house. I think that's the key. Let the children see love in the house. One of the problems that might be plaguing us today is a lot of us were raised in households where the mother and father worked going nonstop, nonstop. So we might have had things, we might have gotten things for those who actually got things, but we ain't get the love. A lot of families never give the love. So a lot of children grow up with neglect, a lot of insecurities. Young men raise up now to become younger men or young adults or young males, and they practice those same insecurities in their relationship. Mother wasn't there, auntie or granny or father wasn't there. So a lot of abandonment would have taken place. So therefore, the fear of being abandoned now in your relationship. Okay, you got a woman now. Yeah, you got a woman. That's my woman. And the reality is, you have a fear of being abandoned. So any slight indication that she wants to be progressive or do her thing or go ahead, then you can't have that. I have a relative sister of mine, a good sister of mine, and I gotta give her a shout too. Talked about her ex. Well, he's now the ex, thank goodness. And as far as being narcissistic behavior, and it's funny because when you hear narcissistic behavior, people always think of men. People never assume that women can display these traits as well and be this way. And so men tend to get a lot of the blame for the disruption in the relationships. And to be quite frank, maybe there's some truth to that. But I think what's more important than pointing fingers is recognizing that you're just having an experience. And if you learn from the experience to better yourself, you should into the next relationship if you've healed enough and to go that direction. You shouldn't now be carrying any baggage from that relationship into, providing you would have learned. If you don't or haven't learned, the lesson is repeated until the lesson is learned. And here we are, now, where we is like, I mean, COVID ain't making it no easy about no relationships. Right now, a lot of people are in survival mode. People are in survival mode. People think about how they're going to survive what's happening. The brother said earlier that things getting scarce and scarce, and people feel people still got choices. And I was saying to him, now, people ain't got no choices. It looked like a choice, but what we have is what's left. All we have is what's left. And so we got to work with what we have. The key, though, is to realize, right, that this whole thing is like a mind spell to create a reality that really doesn't exist. But by forcing you to see it in such a way, you kind of help create that and solidify it and make it real. What I'm proposing, family, is healing. Start to look into yourself and realize that none of what is going on has nothing to do with you. Deal with you internally, build your reality, create the world you want it to be, and link with like-minded individuals and generate that kind of energy, and watch how all that fear get reversed, all that anxiety and uncertainty and you know, not being secure within yourself or knowing your value. Watch how that turn right around completely, to the point where you could start manifesting your destiny, start to build your reality, start to connect with people, even your relationship with your husband or your king man or whoever, your boyfriend, whatever you want to call it. And I suggest you give him a title other than boy and friend, because boys will be boys. But you start to develop the connection that is necessary for building. You're going to build a house, there's some things you will need. Like, for example, you need an electrician, a plumber, a carpenter, a steel bender, a mason, engineer, drop. There's certain requirements individuals either separate may have or collectively they may have, but there's some things you're going to need. Definitely. And once you have what you need, the tools, utensils, material, then you can build. Your relationship should right now be discussing, future plans, how we going to sustain the family, how we going to feed the family, who going to bring in, she said she talked about the breadwinner, who going to bring in the money, how we going to take this money and invest this money to grow this money, are we going to even invest money, are we going to be planning food, what kind of food, what we going to be doing to build a relationship, like we're building our mind, body, and soul. Do we have meditation separately? Do we have it collectively as a family? Do we eat, look, something as simple as eating dinner or breakfast, at least one meal of the day, have the family sit at the table, everybody, and just partake of that moment. As simple as that might sound, have that moment together. The end of the day might be a better option. There's no rushing around, you take a break from the homework and everything else, and you have a family moment or a meeting. You eat, your belly full, not to be lethargic and want to lie down and sleep. And then, you can discuss the family. So, like, parents ask the children, how was your day? What you did today, and kind of get a review of what was going on in the house while you was at work or busy the farm, whatever you was doing, and start to connect, not just have a relationship, but connect, being at one. It's just said to be at one. It's liberating. So liberate your family by connecting everyone to be at one, so everybody know the role they play. In an instance where a man may have, and you got to say man first, because you find it that way. A man may have multiple families. Sometimes these multiple families are not known to the family. A man may have a whole other family across town, and it's not known to his family, which I don't think is right. But if that's, I know that's something he got to work on. It would be more wise to have the family aware and somehow united as one, however he sees fit to manage that if he can, because it's better to be, honest about it and be respected for being honest about it, even if they, not in tune with it, than to be deceitful and try to do that and take that right from them. I don't, so that's a ticklish thing, but it make more sense, because then rather than having children grow up who don't know each other that are related, the children should know each other. They should still be aware. You don't want your brothers and sisters marrying each other because they don't know because of your secret. That's madness. But yeah, sis, I want to thank you for sharing your words, so man. Oneness is truly, that's important. Right now I see a lot of good things happening. I see a lot of good people in town, couples, families doing, stuff together. Let us again use this COVID time of being together to build family back better. So build back better is a new theme for the, what they call it, the Great Reset, or the Illuminati, or the New World Order, whatever they call themselves. I don't even know. I really don't. But everything they're telling you to do, flip it and do it with a different intention. For example, you build back better. Take this time to build back your family better than it was before. Take this time to build back relationship with your parents than it was before. Take this time to build that relationship that you never had with that individual you always wanted to have it with better than before. And also take the opportunity to build back you better than before. There's some of us who might be in situations we need to kind of, exit and be better than before, rather than staying in the situation and be so frustrated where you can't even get your peace on. There's no moments of peace for you. So it would seem fair to do so. It definitely would seem fair to do so. But like I said, this wasn't my intention tonight. I see you, Mags. Give thanks, beloved. I'm back to live, rest. From time to time, gratitude to you too, family. Rastafari, Liberating in the Roots. Itinerary Jarvis, I see you coming in. Never late, family. He's always on time, man. Always on time. Peace to you too, Steve. By the way, Steve, I want to shout out you too as well. I that's kind of following what was going on in the chat there a minute earlier, and these are some serious times. We're talking tonight in terms of relationship goals, and it even goes as far as church in groups. This thing then going to a whole different realm. So the key is to use this opportunity to get in tune with first yourself and then others around you, because in so doing, you're better able to serve and fulfill your divine destiny. But you got a purpose. You got a purpose, and it's time to fulfill that purpose, man. You know what I mean? Know your children birth traits, because children can play one against the other and have fun with it. It's a reality. Children sharp. Children nowadays sharp. I mean, they jinsu sharp. They far from foolish. This is why the connection is relevant. Having that connection allows you to be in tune, allows you to build and create the reality that is conducive towards the betterment of where we going. I don't know about them, but there's always going to be those two different, for lack of the yin and the yang, to create that balance. That is the reality. So know where you stand, family. Know where you stand. Still, my dad had two families in the same room, separate from his wife, and it was with my mom after her separation, and she didn't come to break up. The sweet one, he said that he was a free married man. I like that, a free married man. I am the married man child. My stepmom too loves me. Well, I love that, sis. That's beautiful, man. And that's what I'm talking about, man. And you know what? It may not resonate with everyone, and that's fine too. That's fine too, because maybe it is not for everyone. That's that's the beauty of it. But I like how she put it. I'm the married man child. I says you too much, man. Love you to life. Just the right pint size. For real. People always ask me, you my wife, though, which is strange. Everybody always ask me, you always tell me, I used to, that your wife? That your woman? It's like, wow, still getting the blame. I used to get the blame all the time. I mean, no matter what, I used to get the blame. But ISIS love you to life, man. Love you to life. I love it, man. But polygamy is a topic that a lot of people don't want to talk about. It's touchy, a man having multiple wives. And again, people look at that like, he's a worthless dog. It's funny because society would tell you that, and they look at two men who just got married and say, well, that's their business, which is the strangest thing. Strangest thing. A man with multiple wives is a worthless dog, and two men who got married and adopted a little boy to live with them is their business. you know. And so you understand that the mindset, the poison of the mindset, not realizing that marriage is off the plantation for permission to produce servants for the system. But we ain't gonna look at all of that. But in terms of culture and building and going forward, there's a lot of things we have to unlearn from a colonial standpoint that does not serve us. It never served us. It was never intended to serve us. And look at reinstating our own culture. There's some cultures that are different to other cultures, but the reality is to tell me that you have in one world culture and one thing, and this LG, A, B, C, D, E, F, G group has the ability to have all this focus and attention, and then but there's another small group here, and that's nothing, and whatever. Again, whatever they're doing is their business. It has nothing to do with us, and that's it. In a nutshell. Somebody asked me about what a woman that may want a relationship with multiple men, and wait a minute, actually, that's also you always get that question on the other side of the coin. I always say to people, well, if she's an alpha female and she has multiple male partners that coexist together, you will almost guarantee that they're all beta men. They're not alpha men. You almost would never find that in that situation. You'll find that more with beta men than alpha men. So again, the difference, there's a difference with people. And the key though is to be humility. This whole thing about humility, It's not about boastfulness and trying to big oneself over another. It's such a humbling experience, right? That when you really start to submerge yourself into it, you realize how humble it really is, how humbling it really is. Helps you to identify your greatness, yourself on a whole different level. And in so doing, you are better able to serve. And I don't mean that in a physical sense, but in a spiritual conscious community sense, where you uplift the entire community and the individuals who subscribe and submit and assist you in doing and achieving so. But again, that don't apply to everyone. Not everyone can handle that, manage that, or care for it. Muslims love to have more than one wife. I think in the Islamic faith, they're allowed to have four under the condition that you treat all four equally. You can't have one over the other. The funny thing is, majority of the people in the scriptures we read would have had multiple wives, and this was never an issue. It was never really an issue. The idea of a husband and a wife is fine if that is the path you have chosen to walk. But if you've chosen to walk that path, then you should keep on that path. So I agree with those women when they say the wives and stuff, when they lament and have a discontentment with other people involved. The funny thing is the woman who is what we call the outside woman or the side chick, whatever you want to call her, she's aware that she's sharing and has no problem with the sharing. It is the one who is the married woman, like Isis said, inside, who sometimes is unaware. And you should never take that ability to choose from someone. That's where the problem comes in. That's where we find that you will have, or what should I say, conflict, to use a word loosely, and a breakdown in communication. You can't take rights from people. You can't take the option from people and then wonder why they took differently or chose differently. People should be free to choose according to what they're comfortable with, and no one should ever feel they have the authority to take that from someone. Never. He must in order for marriage to permit, he must first respect the first wife to receive her permission. If she says no, he must respect it. If yes, it's up to the first wife to go and know the second to be sure that she is equipped to be involved The man must be able to financially, physically, and mentally. Man must be financially, physically, and mentally equipped. And I totally agree. You see, this is a mindset thing, man. And I like the part where you talk with the first wife, granting permission. That is, without question, the key to the whole family structure. Knowing that your wife is who is the balancing key to ensure the reality of such an experience. It don't mean a man up here like Adam and paper trying to solicit like a politician looking for votes. You know what I mean? It's, I am small but a handful. No need for a side lady. I don't doubt that you are not a handful. You are two handfuls, man. there's your cup running over. Women does know, but keep their mouth shut. Well, in some cases, I don't doubt that either, and they may have their own reasons for that as well. But again, the communication is what's most important. I think the brother said it as well. Um, Having that communication is what is critical. But like I said, the videos I kept seeing, different things going on. The young ladies that were one that young lady that was buried this week, that was transitioned this week, her service rather, a transition service. And I was thinking about that, man, and the young lady and the family, and this is a mother who left a daughter. Perhaps she could have had more children, which is, generations being removed. I mean, I don't think we get it, man. I really don't think we get it. How impactful this, and I don't want to say domestic abuse, because domestic abuse, I think by labeling it domestic abuse, I think it kind of takes away from what's really happening. I think it's not necessarily domestic abuse, but rather a reflection of self-hate at a deeper level. So by calling it such now, self-hate, you get to analyze it differently, because the approach to comprehend it is different. Domestic abuse. No, the self-hate, because then you map that out on someone else who looks like you. You have issues with you. So anything that looks and reminds you of the things you're struggling with is what you are mad at. So you have a hatred for that, and therefore it comes out that way. So when I saw those videos, I'm telling you, it was like relationship goals, man. Like, what's the objective these days? What are we really doing? Where are we going? You know, you meet someone nowadays. Imagine you're single for a while, you're doing your thing, you got your job, you finally work on your house, whatever. You got yourself balanced, and you at peace with you. I mean, how do you find someone? How do you choose someone? You know, I mean, and I'm not just speaking for those who conscious, because there's a lot of folks who don't have a clue what I'm talking about, or balancing self and whatnot, just kind of going on day to day. How do they get involved in relationships? Well, you got your vaccine card, like you go into a nightclub. Can you show your card first, please? So when you're in a club now, you meet someone in a club, you expect that they either A, vaccinated, or B, has a negative antigen test. So it's like, yeah, I go home with you, your PCR test is positive. This is crazy. This is pure madness. You can't even have a regular relationship. There's no going out and having a drink, because wait a minute, you're not vaccinated and my PCR test isn't back yet. Well, PCR test is almost out. Sorry, so the new term they're using is rapid antigen, or antigen rapid, or whatever they call it. I don't know. But this is the thing though. So the prerequisites for dating, the prerequisites for having a relationship has changed. The goalpost has been moved. So unless you are conscious of this and deciding this is even going to have an impact now on how we socialize. So realize that this thing is pushing so much for such a separation of people and connections, that you're supposed to become stoic. You're supposed to become stoic. You ain't connected with no humans. I don't trust nobody. People ain't no good. They sick. They got the new variant, Omni, Delta, Beta, Zeta, Zeta, Chrome, Minum, whatever. And therefore, I'm in a bubble now. But while I'm in a bubble by myself, watch the connection, oh family. Watch the connection. Now that I'm in a bubble by myself, I'll put on my metaverse virtual reality goggles. I'll log into a profile that I created to be some Caucasian or Asian, Chinese um, um, man or woman or animal or whatever have you that you're interested in creating as an avatar. And I'll just go into my virtual world where I am safe. I can do whatever I choose to do, be whatever, be with whoever, engage in whatever, and I don't have to risk getting the new variant Omni, Delta, Beta, Zeta, Beta, Heta, Cleta, Data, read me 1, 2, 3, Omnicron, Cron, Omni, or whatever. I don't know. I just make it up as I go. But now, guess what? So this is where this thing is going, family. So the destruction of the family is not by chance. It's not by accident. But that's their reality. Now, our reality is we got to find ways, family, to heal, to heal, to heal. Sister said that she giving herself some self-love, some much needed self-love right now. She get into herself a little more, dealing with self-love. Your relationships right now is, needed a booster. The relationship need a booster. Sit down a little more often. Like I said, that family dinner. If breakfast you rush through the door or lunch you're not home, see dinner. Make sure as best you can, family, that everybody sit at the table and eat dinner together. If nothing else, homework put on pause, your days or lives or whatever put on pause, and take that time for your family. Take that time to talk to each other, discuss the events going on, the household, you know, um, talk, just communicate, family, and connect. You know, turn off the TV and put on the tablet and the phone and the WhatsApp groups that be having 1,500 pings and thinking people got that much stuff to write. I'd be lost. Like, how y'all find that time? I'd be feeling envious. Like, damn, y'all lucky, man. How y'all find time to write 1,500 messages and a response? I'd be mind boggled by that, man. Like, wow, what, you unemployed? You gonna be unemployed? I don't know where you find the time. But anyhow, I try to get to some as best I can. But put all that down, man, and pull up these snakes and ladders and play with the family. Pull out the cards and play some Uno or something and just have a little laugh or something, man. Or just pull out a book and go around the room and read a sentence or verse or a paragraph and then discuss it with your family, man. Just do things to connect. You know what I mean? Take a little family walk, exercise. If daddy would get that little belly down, mommy will lose a little extra pounds she take complaining about. Keep your children fit. When you're walking or you're talking and showing them certain things, survival skills, having discussions, I mean, family, man, we have to be different on all levels. We can't function how they function. We got our protocols are different protocols. Different. So anyhow, each one must reach one, my slogan every day. Talk to each other. Put down electronics. Yeah, I just say the same thing, Nicole. Good to have you here with us for sure. Put down electronics for real, family. I mean, really spend time investing in your family. I mean, really, really take the time because, like I said, what's happening now is not by chance. Like I said, if you are a male and you have multiple females, be honest about it. If you're a female with the same thing, be honest about it. If that's not your thing, that's cool. Be honest about it. And just wherever you at, be honest about that. Not to the individual, but to yourself first, and by extension, that will resonate. Because this is our resetting. This is the rebuilding, to build back better. Take the time for yourself, to know yourself, what makes you tick, those insecurities, why you choose to be uncertain about your partner and their phone. Or I heard a friend told me yesterday that she had cloned her man's phone. I said, wait, hold on, how you mean you cloned the phone? She had me mind boggled. Yeah, he cloned the phone. So I see the messages that the other woman sending him, and the thing is this though, she is the woman what they would consider the outside woman. and he has a wife. This is mind-boggling. So you clone the man's phone to know the wife telling him, this is, look, you can't make this stuff up. They had me beat bad. I can believe that. I tell myself, wait, hold up. You involved with a man who's involved with a woman that lives at home, lives home. And you clone his phone to see what's going on because you didn't want him to cheat on you. This, look, you can't make this stuff up. You didn't want him cheating on you, so you cloned his brother's phone. I don't know how you did it. But got all the messages that the wife sending him. And I'm thinking, man, you see how this thing just get out of hand fast? This don't make no sense at all. You involved with a man that married, live home. Well, he ain't married. They live together, been together for a while. They're not actually married, but they do live together, live home for a while. And you clone his phone because you outside and you got the wife messages and reading everything, what you telling him. And my thing though is like, man, that ain't going, well, it didn't end well to say the least. My point though is that this come on, man. They gotta be a better way. It gotta be a better way. You know, they got to be a better way. Because at the end of the day, all we doing is hurting and more hurting and more hurting. And there's not enough healing, and healing is important because the children are watching. And when the children are watching, if we never saw this but end up this way, imagine what they're going to do when they get down the road. Especially, like I said, they're trying to force them into this metaverse thing, reality, this illusion, and Roblox is the prerequisite. So they literally 1 foot already in the door. All they need now is a nudge, and they're going to seal that door and burn the building. That's all they're going to do. And your children will be challenging you with in ways and saying things that you can't even comprehend. Communication is what's going to build everything, family. But knowing yourself allows you to communicate with people and build that strength. And like the brother said, build that unity that's needed. And that's how that's going to work. So take this time, the corona time, the home time, the alone time, the quarantine time, the curfew time, whatever time they talking about, and use it not for what they want to put fear, but to build back better, build you back, build back the home, build back the family, because at the end of the day going forward, that is what's most important, the family. You know, the family is the foundation for everything. You don't have that, you don't have nothing. There's no unity outside of family. If your family don't have that structure in such a way, I mean, by family, I don't necessarily mean, you know, your immediate relative, blood relative, because in some instances, it might be the new family you establish with your wife or whatever the case is. But be truthful to yourself and build a better you for what is to come on whatever is worth. You know what I'm saying? Trisha, yeah, I want to thank you again, sis. She said my Instagram account, Facebook account. I'm just going to put this up here real quick. For those interested in works by Trisha Joseph, you can plug into her profile, whichever platform works for you. Sister right there putting in work. We give thanks. She cloned his phone and found out if he got a third woman. That's funny. Isis is funny. Isis is funny. He said English was forced on us by the slave master. We still speak it. Like-minded people need to unite and hold grounds, pull together all resources. We're not outnumbered, just so organized. And that's the key, brother. You know what I'm saying? Being in tune and connected. But you know what? I see it happening. I mean, I see it happening. I'm a part of a few circles, and it's been going on for a while now. There's a lot of dedicated people involved and committed to the greater good. I mean, literally. And it is just so amazing. And the thing is, it's not always in a cultural thing in terms of African, using the term again loosely. But there are other groups of individuals who are indigenous who feel that same vibration, who identify with what's happening and feel the same way. There are individuals who will be considered Europeans or Caucasians who reach out. And I don't burn the bridge, but my thing is, well, home drum beat first without question. But in the same token, there's Europeans who see and recognize, or Europeans, and offer their own assistance. Now the question is, do you trust that? You sure, Rastaman? You sure? Right now it's an energy thing, family. It's an energy thing. So you can't base it solely on an idea. But the idea is relevant. And I don't hide the idea from within those groups as well. I make it known clear. So if anybody's uncomfortable when I speak about African positions, like I once I was in this Zoom, I was probably like maybe one of the of maybe, but majority of the group was Caucasians. It was their meeting, their Zoom, and then invite me Rastaman to drop a science or word song. And when I went down the road of speaking about certain things that would have occurred and dropping that science and why we need to have that established as well. I mean, the chat didn't go silent on by accident. It meant silent on purpose. I mean, folks were tuning in what was being said and probably wondering I had the audacity to say it. But yeah, because it needs to be said. We're not going to pretend and ignore the reality that, and that's why I said everybody's up in arms about COVID now. Yeah, we get it, but the struggle of poor people, the struggle of indigenous people, the struggle of Africans or Black people, what we call them, have been ongoing for a while. This is nothing new. This has just been compounded. So I'm not going to toss all those years out the window and focus on one thing when the reality is that one thing is in direct relation to all those years what was going on. That's our history and that's our knowledge. So we use it to, like your brother said, build each other, pool resources, help each other, and go forward. Because what is needed right now more than ever before is the knowledge of all those events that took place before and where we find ourselves now. That knowledge is the key. That is the key. And that's why we are in a better position to make this thing happen now. So they say, so the groups come together, there are a lot of people coming together, positive things happening, some knowing, some on the ground, some not knowing, but it's happening, family. Rest that assured it is happening. Like I said, they don't have energy and we don't have none. Nah, the universe is fair and balanced. Whatever is driving them or pushing them, it's also driving and pushing us. Some, like I said, is visible and some is invisible. So let's keep building, keep growing. Remember, fear is a choice, not a reality. The danger might be real, but the fear is the choice. So choose not to have that and realize that you can't keep running. Stand your ground, family. Know where you stand, man. Especially in these times, man. Just build a family. Build a family. Build a family. When in a relationship and you have to wonder what he or she is doing or what they're doing, what he or she is doing in your life. No energy for the time wasted is my life statement. ISIS is a reality. Man. How you start wondering what's going on, something wrong. Yeah, I mean, you ain't supposed to never have them wonders, man. At least say good night, good night, sister. Greetings to you too. Yeah, family, relationship goals, man. Like a nation within a nation. It's family, man. Build the family. Just build family. Build. Look in the mirror, deal with you, deal with what's around you, be honest about what's happening in your life, communicate with your sister and your brethren. You know what I'm saying? If you on a certain path, let that be known. Let them have a choice. You don't take that from anyone. The brother said if the wife got to decide if she's okay with that, if she can balance it. If she can't, you gotta respect that. And if you can't respect it, then it's best to at least, well, maybe redefine your relationship with the sister and maybe change the dimensions of it. But don't drag her into something she doesn't want to be in and then lie about it on top of that. And then you got the outside one now spying on you to make sure you don't have another outside of the outside of the outside. I don't know, man. I know a lot of people don't want to have that conversation. I know it's kind of touchy, but you cannot own another human. I like that, sis. You can't even own yourself, man. Just be in tune. Just be in tune, man. I love Rise to the Top, family. Anyhow, I ain't gonna keep you all the whole night. Love and goals, love and relationship goals, man. Just be truthful to yourself, man. That's all you can say, man. That's all you can say, man. Be truthful to yourself. I let me see if I can find this joint. I had a joint up earlier I was listening to. I was going to drop a Tanya Steven, but I said, nah, boy, that might be a bit controversial. We have to be honest with ourselves. A caged bird can't keep a free bird. Said, what bird are you? That's quite interesting, Isis. I like the metaphor. It's quite interesting because, I mean, this is why I said, like Sister Margaret, Mike said it too, in terms of being unequally yoked. You gotta know where you at, and if you know where you at, then choosing someone to be with or selecting someone to connect with at that level ain't even gonna be a question. It's gonna happen on its own because energies, frequencies connect. The ones that don't just don't resonate at the same, frequency, the same vibration. They can't. They can't. You know what I'm saying? Love is the key, man. Love is the key, family. You know what I'm saying? Know yourself. Know yourself. Know yourself. Anyhow, I could do a Barris Hammond, but I ain't one playing the love songs and the crying songs, man. You know what I'm saying? Just be the best you that you can be. I think that's how you put it. There's so much going on right now. When 10, and like I said, 12/21 is coming up. The Mere Reflection 2021. 12/21 is coming up, family. A lot of different calendar dates are coming up. You know what I mean? Make the best of it to focus on building you and finding where you're supposed to be in life. And the sister said they're soulmates and true love. I question that soulmate whole idea as well. And by question, I don't mean question whether it exists, maybe not by that term, soul mate. Because what is a soulmate? You got people spend their whole life looking for that equal opposite, quote unquote, partner. But there's no equal opposite partner unless there's a equal opposite you, is what you're suggesting. But if there's an equal opposite you, do you know you enough to know your equal opposite when you meet them? Because if you only know you in part and you meet someone that you think is your equal opposite, you can only see that in part. The other part may not be your equal at all. It may not even be nowhere near where you at. So the idea of getting to this notion of a soulmate is really to connect with you and elevate yourself to a level of consciousness where you're aware of who you are, so that if you do meet someone who reflects your continence, then you can recognize the synergy that y'all might have that is identical, but that has a purpose. So now that combination becomes divine in its purpose to achieve the objective that it was designed to achieve. If it means y'all come together and stay together, fine. If it means y'all come together to complete a task, well, fine. The point is, it has a purpose. It has a purpose. And I think that sometimes we miss the purpose pursuing pleasure, and therefore we miss the mark. But I mean, I'm not no love doctor, no title. I ain't trying to figure it out myself. So anyhow, family, give thanks for the strength, give thanks for the time. And again, shout out to Lamumba on his Herb Strong. I know right now he doing his own connecting within self. I am almost sure of that. And that's what it's about, man. Just realizing that it's about growth. And yeah, growth. Just growth, man. Just growth. So I ain't looking for the tune. I was gonna be playful, but I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. It might cause problems. I was gonna dedicate a song to the sister in that clone the I know she watching too. Matter of fact, I might dedicate this to the sister in who cloned the phone of the brother who was inside with his family. I thought that was so hilarious. I almost fell out when I heard that. I couldn't believe it, man. I could not believe it. I could not believe it, man. But she felt that was necessary. Insecurities are a thing right now, family. You really got to check yourself, family. I ain't telling you the lie. All the fighting, all this other stuff is based on the fact that you don't know yourself. You don't know yourself. Take this time to get to know you. Be at one mind. Atonement with yourself. Make peace with yourself. Forgive yourself. Heal from past traumas. And realize that, it really is a pity. really is a pity, man.
I said we never.
But that's just my friend right there that give me that scenario, man. I couldn't believe it, man.
It's a pity you already have a wife, and me don't know come on in my life. Good boy, it is a pity.
Anyhow, family, that's just that little second right there, man. But at the end of the day, family, you gotta rise to the occasion. That's it, man. That's it, man. I'm not no love expert, but sisters, know your value. Know your value, know yourself. You know what you want out of life. I used to say it best. She ain't got no time for that. You know what I'm saying? She on a mission. Know your purpose. But know you can't clone the man phone if you outside in the dog family, man. Like that's just, you don't have an issue with him. You got an issue with you. So heal, man. Let's heal, family. Get to know yourself and raise the bar, family. It's been too long. Been too long. Way too long. Create stress. Stress make your immune system weak. And COVID gonna get you. COVID gonna get you. Stress. Much too long, family. Oh, so long. Love people, leave people, man, and find your own man. Now is the time, family, when all nations must be free. Rise and shine, family. It's a pity. Remember your legacy, family. Just remember self, man. Just remember self, man. I just focus on what we have to do, family. Build and teach each other. The brother said it, each one, teach one, reach one. Insecurities creates much stress. Jackie, you know it too well, man. Say Christians are so messy, true love, be in tune with yourself. 12-12-21 is a reflection of 12-21-21, equal opposites. Get in tune, family. Get in tune, family. Rise and shine, family. For the sake of the younger generation, man. Just rise, family. Y'all have a beautiful night, man. Peaceful, restful, joyful, outful, loving, or full of love. And be at one, man. Take time just to mind, body, and soul. The mind, the body, and the soul. Arm, leg, arm, head, family. It's all love, family. Remember, family, be at one. Be at one. Haile Selassie the first, and this was their many. Yes. It's a perfect balance, family. Too much oppression, man. Too much oppression, man. The effects of colonial experience is present, but we must rise above that. By example, let's lead the way, family. Let's lead the way, family. Others will pick up and follow. To those who much is given, much is required. You see? We can't look alive, family. We have a duty to lead. So rise and shine, family. Rastafari.